Hello and welcome to Tuesday with the Heart Girls. And today you get me. And today we're going to have a heart to heart and just let you kind of step into my process a little bit and just making sure we're live. One second. Yeah. Okay. Not saying that I'm live. So I just wanted to make sure before I got started and weren't able to uh, start over. One second. I'm going to share this to my page because this is going to be a powerful talk today. All right. Okay. Here we are. How is everyone doing today? Hopefully, you know what? You're doing okay. I know that it's been super crazy lately. If you have been paying attention to anything that's going on in our world and our country, and even though I don't really keep up with all of that, there's been this heaviness, this depression, just like a sense of doom, I guess, like, and I'm feeling that. So it makes me believe that that's really what's out in the atmosphere, that people are worried, people are concerned. Um, and I just want today to let's bring our awareness back to ourselves. Because if you're like me, you can let the things of the world, the things that are happening in the world kind of affect your energy, affect your disposition, affect your feelings. And I'm not saying like don't feel, but let's really find out where those feelings are coming from. And that's what I want to talk to you about today, and just have a heart to heart, just share with you some of my process, some of what's been going on with me, so that you can kind of hopefully find yourself in part of my story, part of the process, to instead of looking at shutting the world away or letting it control you and feeling anxiety or worry or stress, let's really check in with ourselves and see what might be irritating parts of us that have been locked away. And so, as you know, co-founder of the Undivided Heart, probably watching this on our Facebook page. If not, if you're watching it on my personal Facebook page, I encourage you to also go and like and subscribe to our Facebook page, YouTube channel, so you can get all the goodies that we put out each week. But also, like, just take a time, take a pause, and let's just have a talk. So maybe you get in a chair if you're in your car, that's fine, because you're just going to go on a journey with me. And so this is not a let me teach you something kind of talk. I do like those because I love to teach things that I feel like are valuable, but it's more like let me bring you into my story. And I want everyone to know that I share this with full vulnerability and just to really help people, first of all, understand me a little bit more, but also maybe understand themselves in the process. So lately I've been feeling heavy, like I said, and it feels like something's been buzzing in the background of my mind. Um, and I just couldn't name it. Like I just felt it. It just felt heavy, like I said, but this happened for several days. Like it took me nearly a week to realize that I might need a heart healing session. And I do this for a living, guys. I do this every day with clients. So let that sink in. I lead people into deep, transformative healing, and I still miss the signs myself. It happens whenever there's so much going on, and we can point to other things that we think are the cause of it. Could be other people, it could be situations. And sometimes we miss what's really going on. And that's what I want to share with you today, that I missed it. And if I missed it, it's likely others are missing it too. We're not really aware of what is causing that buzzing in the background or that anxiety or that underlying stress. So here's what I've come to learn through the years of healing. Our personalities aren't just who we are. And I know that may shock some people because we kind of hang on our personalities. Like, this is just who I am. And we don't think personalities are fluid or that they can change. But they're who we had to become to stay safe. So we create personalities based on our childhood experiences. So who we had to become to stay safe or get love or simply keep the peace. For me, it started before I was even born. And for many of you, that might be the case as well. When we're children or in utero, when we're fetuses, I guess, we take on our mom's nervous system. And so if mom's happy and joyful, we're going to have more of that disposition. If mom's anxious or worried, we're going to have that disposition. So if mom's depressed, we may have that bent as well. And we may think for the longest time, this is just my personality. This is just the way I am. Like, I've just always been this way. And so we think it's just like innate in us. We don't understand that oftentimes it's just what we were introduced to in the very beginning of our life that has created this certain type of personality. So, one second, let me get a drink. So, my mom had a lot of anxiety when she was pregnant with me. She was a very young mom. She was 18 when she became pregnant. And I came out of the womb already kind of buzzing with that same frequency. Like, my nervous system had been tuned to high alert before I even took my first breath. And that anxiety didn't feel like something that I had. It felt like something that I was. And that could be a lot of us. Like, we could look back and think, this is just how I've always felt. This is who I am. But it's not true. I am not anxiety. Like, that's not the way God created me, to have this buzzing of anxiety. But as a little girl, I found a role that I could play. I became the helper, the peacemaker, the caregiver, not because my mom asked me to. She never asked me to step up into that role, but because I saw it was needed and it worked. It gave me purpose and it gave me her attention. And I carried that job until I was 27 when she died. And I don't blame my mom for any of this. Like I said, she was a young mom. I mean, I was an even older mom, and I had no idea about this stuff whenever I had kids. So I, again, passed a lot of this on to my own daughter specifically, because she was my firstborn, and didn't realize it until obviously many years later when I began to do this work and was able to help Taylor, my daughter, process through some of hers. But this is something that many of us carry and we don't realize it. We carry these jobs that we have with people or with our parents or maybe with a spouse or a friend. And we also have these kind of buzzing sensations. It could be anxiety, it could be depression, it could be different things that make us feel like we need to do more or be better in order to get this, like, to feel better about ourselves. So, a little bit about my situation. After my mom passed, something in me unraveled. It's not just grief, though there was a lot of that. It was a shocking passing. It was not expected. It was a tragic thing. But what happened through that process is, because my mom was no longer there, I lost the job that I'd known my whole life. And I felt like that kept some of the anxiety at bay, not simply because like it wasn't there, but I had something else to focus on, because that job was so important and I did it. I mean, later on in my mom and my life, like after I had my daughter, I was pregnant with my son when she died. I became more of like the mom in the relationship and she was more like my daughter. That's kind of the caregiving that we had, where I was the one who brought peace in her life, gave her advice, really coached her, mentored her. And I was the child. But that was the job and the relationship that we had. And so without that job, I didn't know who I was. And I was still a young mom. I had two young children, and, like, one of them wasn't even born yet. And the other one was only 3 years old. So I numbed, I avoided, I shut down the pain, because honestly, it terrified me. It terrified me to look at who I was without this job. And for a long time, I didn't even look at that. So eventually, I blew up my life in every way that you can imagine. And so that's what my heart healing session was about. It was about that 30-year-old woman who got lost in the dark. She was left there just holding everything, the pain, the shame, the chaos, all the stuff that hadn't been looked at. And I forgot she was there. To be honest, I moved on with my life. I rebuilt my life from the ashes that I had. I mean, it's like I torched my life and then had to rebuild everything. So I rebuilt. I was strong and I was focused and I learned new coping techniques. I became a better mom and I learned how to lead myself and others. I learned how to forgive and how to love people better, but I never went back to her. Now, in this process of my own heart healing transformation in the last 5 years, I've gone back to a lot of child parts of me. So I had a lot of trauma early on in my life. And so I've focused really on those parts of me, but I never went back to her, to that younger version of me who made the decision to change. Yes, she was the one who blew my life up, but she also was the one who made the decision to change. I had never looked her in the eyes and said, thank you. So in the session, I did, with tears streaming down both of our faces. If you can just imagine me and a 30-year-old version of me, that was 19 years ago. I didn't blame her for falling apart because I knew like she was only doing what she knew to do. She was just so tired, so worn out. I told her I was proud of her. And she had never heard that in her entire life, that somebody was proud of her, because I know that she was just doing the best she could with what she had. She hadn't been given a whole lot. I mean, she had been parenting her mom for her entire life. She had never really been parented in a way that she felt safe, or like that she felt protected, that she felt like she could go to someone and just raw bare it, like her soul. She never felt like that. And I told her something that she needed to hear. And this really shocked her. I told her that you were the one who created the change. You're the reason that we're here today. The truth is, she had been locked away in this place where she was feeling all of the pressure of screwing everything up, pardon my language, but she just felt that way, that she was just a screw up, that she was just a loser, that she had messed everything up, that she should have been stronger and she should have made better decisions and she should have this and she should have that. But she didn't realize that because she did that and made the decision after she blew our life up to change, she didn't know that we made it. Like, she didn't know we were here doing this and living this life and feeling so much different than what we felt when we were 30. Looking back, I haven't shared this much because looking back, I used to feel embarrassed about that chapter, really ashamed of the mess. I mean, the way that I coped, the crash and burn, like there's so many emotions that I had about that. And it kept it hidden and locked away for a long time. And while I had, left that behind and that's not who I am anymore, I left her behind too. And so now I feel something really different about that season in life because I look at it from a different perspective. I feel pride. I'm proud of her. I feel compassion because I know exactly what she was feeling and how she felt like there was no one there to help her. And she just wanted to change. She just wanted to feel better. And I feel respect because she fell all the way to the bottom and she still chose to make a change. She still chose to move on with life. She still chose to fight to get her kids back. She still chose to be the person that we are today. And because that girl, me at my lowest, she didn't stay there. She made the first move towards healing. She chose to rebuild. And so many people see my life now and they have zero idea what I've overcome because I don't advertise it. It's not something that I need to be my banner that I'm this overcoming girl that came from, it's beauty from ashes. I think we all have those type of stories. And I used to hide it in shame, but I don't feel like I need to hide it anymore because I'm no longer ashamed about that. Yeah, I look back and there's definitely some regret, but I wouldn't be who I am today if that process hadn't happened in my life. I wouldn't be as empowered as I am. I wouldn't be the woman with the confidence, with the experience that I have today. And so I'm in a way grateful. I'm not always grateful for the experiences that the other people had to go through in my life, say my children, but it did make me a better mom. It did change our relationship for the better. And so for that, I'm truly grateful. And maybe you're listening to this and there's a version of you still stuck in the dark. Maybe that as I was sharing, you could even feel that part of you. Maybe your heart began to pound a little bit faster, or you got, sweaty palms or sweaty armpits. I get those sometimes when I'm anxious. And so if there's something that connected in my story, it means that you're still carrying the weight. That even though maybe you moved on and that's not something you think about or even connect with anymore, there's still a part of you carrying the weight, still wondering if anyone sees her or him, or will they ever come back for her or him? Like so many times we move on and we don't allow ourselves to go back and get these places that have held all of this emotion, all of these, situations, all of these issues, and let them come and be a part of the present. Because listen, a lot of us are living in victory today compared to where we have been. And we want those parts of us, that 30-year-old part of you or that 15-year-old part of you to come celebrate with you and see where you're at. Maybe it is time to go back, not to relive it. I didn't relive the pain. I got in touch with what was happening and I saw that 30-year-old me. I can remember her. Like I just remember different parts of that season and I just went through and kind of looked at all those parts and I didn't have to go back into the pain per se, but I got in touch with her and let her know that like I'm here. And I know that you're still experiencing this pain. And guess what? We've moved on from that. I want to get you out of it. And so you don't relive it, but you reclaim it. You honor the one who got you here. You honor the one that maybe made that bad decision, but hey, they turned it around. Like we don't want to put ourselves in prison or parts of us in prison for things that we've done that maybe we're not proud of today. But let's look at where we've come from. Let's look at where we were and where we are today, because healing isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you were before the world told you who you had to be. That's important to remember because like so many of us are living a version of ourselves that we don't even know because we tried to become someone new. We tried to be someone better. We tried to be someone smarter. We tried to be somebody who other people would look up to or appreciate or love. And we forgot who we are. We forgot that all the parts of us make up the whole. And so some of those we've shamed, some of those we've set aside, some of them maybe we've thrown in the basement and locked the key and said, never, never will I go look at you. But remember, those are parts of you that are precious and amazing, and God made them in his image. And he created you for a purpose so that he could love you and he could show the world through you who he is. And so that's who you are. You're beautiful. You're amazing. You're an incredible creation. And the more of us that can see ourselves as beauty instead of ugliness or shame or, things that need to be hidden, if we could show that there are so many beautiful parts of you. There's this thinking about yesterday. This is kind of off topic, but it came to mind. So maybe it ties into this, but like just there's so many situations in life. And it seems like the people that go through situations like me that went through something very traumatic, whenever I was 27 to 30, and definitely wouldn't want to go through that again. But as I went through that, there's just so much that was chiseled in me, like chiseled off of me, that had been put on me that wasn't mine. It it like elevated me instead of all of the avatars that I had been all my life. It helped me to see who I really was. It helped me to appreciate the person that I am, and it created a whole new personality because it was how I see my life, how I see, it's the lens that I see through. That's my personality. And so if your heart is buzzing and if you're stuck in the swirl of numbness, burnout, or just feel like you're not enough, I want you to know that you're not alone. You're not crazy. And most importantly, you're not beyond repair. Trust me. I have been through, and I'm not going to say my stuff is worse than anybody else, but I've been through so many things, and I just felt broken at a time in my life. I felt like there was no way I could come back from this, but I did. And I want you to know that sometimes you just need someone to talk and walk you through it, to remember who you really are. And that's what I do. That's what we do at the Undivided Heart. And I'd be happy to really just have a conversation with you. It's free of charge. Like, you don't have no obligation, but just to help you even process through what it is that you're feeling. We offer a discovery session that's free, 45-minute call with me or with Susan, and you can have, some of that process through in that call. And so if you're ready to take the step, I'd love to talk to you. All you have to do is just to go on our website, and I'll actually put it in the comments if you'd like to just have that right there, the website to sign up for Discovery Call. And, just go from there and help you see that you're not alone, that you're not crazy. I mean, so many of us feel crazy and we don't tell people we feel crazy. We just stay in this space trying to hide it. And let me tell you, that makes you crazy. You do silly things, you act certain ways, and it's not who you truly are. And then maybe you get known as this person that's truly not you. And so let's help you to reclaim your life, to get back to the place where you can begin to feel known and loved and real, where it's not pretentiousness and fakeness and trying to be a part of the group, where you really do begin to be seen and valued for who you are, so that you begin to have true relationships instead of the ones that maybe make you feel like, you don't know who you are, or you don't know if people truly know you. And that was me for so long. I felt like everybody thought that they knew me, but I was really whatever everybody needed. And so they shared their needs. They shared things that were going on with them, but they never really asked about me. And if they did, I would deflect because I was afraid to be known. I was afraid for people to truly see who I was, because I didn't even know who it was. Was convinced she was terrible. I was convinced that she wouldn't be liked, that she wouldn't be enough. And if that's you, I just want to help you. I want to help you step into the place where you can live from that light place within you, that you can live in the victory that Jesus promised for all of us. Listen, praying harder is not going to make it happen. Going to church and worshiping is not going to make it happen. I'm sorry, it just won't. I tried it for a long time. The only way for you to really let go of the stuff that has been haunting you or covering you up or weighing you down is to truly connect with yourself and allow Jesus to love you in that place, for you to finally see that nothing makes you dirty. Nothing makes you sinful where you're not accepted by God. Nothing makes you unwanted, that you're loved and adored. And once our heart begins to see that, there's so much that unlocks within us. And so I'd love to, have some time to really share that with you and to answer any questions that you have. So just let me know. I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that you found something in it that was beneficial for you in the season that you're in. And I just want to remind all of you, instead of praying for God to do something, understand that God is in you. And when you release love, when you release power, when you release light, when you release peace, that's working with God to change the world. So God's not going to change the world by himself. He's going to always use us to do it. And so my encouragement to you, instead of praying that God would do something, step into that place and partner with God and release those good things into the atmosphere. And let's see what we can do to change the world. I love you. Bless you. Have a fantastic week. And we will see you next week here on the Facebook Live with the Heart Girls at 1 p.m. Central. So share this with your friends if you feel like this blessed you. And we'll talk to you.